I'm sure it's come of no surprise that I'm doing a save with Newcastle. I've got £200 million to spend, and apparently a striker that's basically a cheat code already. So it just sounds a bit fun. The premise of what we're doing is I'm going to be doing the transfers. I'm going to be putting in my formation that I want to play, and then I'm going to be simming through, doing January as well, and I'll bring you back at the end of the season in this episode to let you know how it's gone. Probably do a few seasons, and we'll see how far we can take Newcastle with their new billions and billions of pounds that they have. But if you like the idea of this, then please do me the favour of liking, subscribing, and you'll be able to show the content and follow it through with us. And even give the bell a little tickle as well, and you'll be able to get the notifications as soon as they drop. It's not going to be replacing my Barcelona rebuild that I've got going on. I'm sure you're thoroughly enjoying that. If you've not watched any, then it will be up here. I did it right first time, I think, for the first time ever. I'll pop the playlist up there so you can have a little watch through. It's very good, and it's been received fantastically, and I'm very happy about that as well. Thank you all. Let's get into it. Here we are in the land of Newcastle, putting pen to paper and a 43.5 grand a week deal, replacing the previous manager of Steve Bruce. Our fierce rivals to Sunderland, I've got to do something catastrophically wrong for them to be stronger than us at the end of this. So that is nothing for us to be concerned about. A transfer budget of £200 million, a wage budget of £2 million a week. They have won the Premier League in 4 occasions, most recently in 1927. So we'll see if we can add one to that before it reaches 100 years. It's good. We've got a lot of stuff to work with. Let's have a look what players we've already got at the club. So according to this, our top 11 is Dubravka, Manquillo, Lascelles, Shah, Dummett, Hayden, Willock, Shelvey, Almiron, St Maximin, and Wilson. Definitely some positions there I want to look at straight off the bat. I'm going to jump into the team report, and then we'll have a look in a little bit more in depth. We have quite a lot of strength through the middle of the park. A great goalkeeper, a good goalkeeper. Well, 3 good goalkeepers actually. Quite a bit of strength out on the wings, but fullbacks are lacklustre, should we say, the least. Our good right backs are Manquillo, Krath and Hayden, and our good left backs are Dummett, Lewis, Ritchie and Manquillo again. It's a little bit harsh on Jamal Lewis. I thought he'd be stronger than that, to be honest. We're really, really strong at attacking mid, which isn't the best, because I don't particularly like playing attacking mid, but I guess I might have to find formation for that. We have 1 great centre mid in Joe Willock, 3 great right mids in St Maximin, Ryan Fraser and Almiron, 3 great left mids in the same players, and 2 great strikers in Wilson and St Maximin. So it seems that St Maximin has to be playing, which isn't coming of a surprise to me. But we've definitely got a lot of good players in there, and a lot of money to work with. So I'm liking what I'm seeing already. Looking at the suggested tactics, they offers a wing-back, fluid or direct counter-attack. I'm thinking a fluid counter-attack is what I'm liking for. Soak up a bit of the pressure and then, as I say, get up on that counter-attack. Get in their faces. Use that pace out on the wings. And Callum Wilson slapping it in the net. Sounds good. We're going to go with a 4-4-1-1. Your goalkeeper on sweeper keeper. 2 attacking wing-backs, 2 ball-playing centre-backs for us. Our centre-mids are going to be a deep-line playmaker and a box-to-box mid. I want both of our wingers to be cutting in. You can see that I've already decided where Maximan's going. Saint Maximin, sorry. I want a supporting striker behind our main forward. I'm considering playing them like kind of this, maybe? And then I might do an inverted winger on this side and then just a normal winger on that side and then drop this to support, obviously dependent on which side I want to do so. But we're looking at that as the tactic at the moment. But in possession, I'm going to go tempo extremely high, pass directness just standard, pass it into space, be more expressive and play fairly narrow. Transitionally, we're going to counter press, counter, distribute quickly and put the ball to the playmaker. And then in out of position, we're looking to just play a slightly higher line, standard defensive line, and then we're going to force the opposition out wide as well. And then a slightly higher press, but nothing too high, so they don't just all fall apart at the end of the season. Players to put into that, we have Dubravka as our goalkeeper. It does say he's injured. He's out for 6 to 9 weeks, so we'll be back probably just after the start of the season. Right backs at the moment, we have Mankilo, Kraft or Hayden. To be honest, I'm not looking at any of them, so I'm not even going to name one. Left backs, again, Dummett, Mankilo, Lewis or Ritchie. I'll put Lewis in just to see what we get from him. He does have him suggested as a wing back on defend, and he does have some potential, so he's a maybe, but probably bench, to be honest. Centre backs, we're looking at Lascelles has to be in there, or Lascelles, or however the hell we pronounce his name, on the right hand side, and Fabian Schär next to him at the moment. Inverted winger out on that right hand side, we have Almiron, who's a left footed only, so I'm just going to bung him out on the right side. He'll love it, he'll have a wonderful time. Our box to box at the moment is probably going to be Sean Longstaff. He's again, it's right up his wheelhouse. He's going to love that. And then Joe Willock's going to be playing the deep line playmaker role for us. He'll do that fantastically as well. Attacking mid. This is our issue here. So we've lost Almiron, who probably could have played that role pretty well. Likewise, Maximan, Longstaff, and Willock. We do have Jeff Hendrick, who I might just bung in there for the time being. But again, to be fair, no, I'll leave that blank because that's a role that we know we need to get as well. And then striker, we have Callum Wilson. So if we can find a striker who's going to be phenomenal, affordably, and I'm aware I'm saying that with a team with 200 million in the bank, but affordable, then we might replace Wilson. But otherwise, I'm in no dire rush to do so. But focus is fullbacks, maybe a better centre-back, and an attacking mid. They are looking for us to finish in the top half of the league, and then the following season they want us to qualify for Europa League. So expectations aren't vast at the moment, and they're only looking for the quarterfinals in either of these cups as well. They do want us to sign higher reputation players, so it is something that, to be honest, we're going to be looking for. I'll have a little pop over to the transfer window, transfer market, just before we go. We have quite a lot of decent players in here. Obviously, we don't have a vast amount of information on them at the moment, but I know Kulusevski's just daft how good he is. I've seen someone like on year 2 that's got Gavi. I've also just noticed Paulinho is available on a free as well. So I might have a little look at him. Might have a little scoot round, see the other free transfers. Danny Alves as well. We'll have a look at him also. I don't know if there's any other free transfers that are worthwhile to have a look at, to be honest. I might ask my board of director or whatever. Should we have a little look now? Let's have a little butchers. So, go director of football. We will request a suggestion. We want left backs who are also wing backs and free transfers. They've suggested Benito Yuri Zhirkov. How is he still going? He's got to be easily in his 50s now. I will have a look at Benito because he gets signed by Lille on my game, on the Barcelona one, and he was decent, to be fair. Likewise, we'll do the same at right backs. And it suggests us Gaetano Berardi, it's not even close to how you pronounce it, and Nick Lima. Don't have a clue who he is, but his name's fun. Likewise, we will have a look for attacking mids. I'm not going to specify a role because I'm not 100% set on it being a secondary striker. I'm just not sure whether I want another playmaker up there as well. That one suggests us Gaston Ramirez and Giovinco. Giovinco could be a shout, but he is 34 now, and kind of part of his, I nearly said charm, part of his kind of, most of his talent was the fact that he was little and fast. He's no longer fast. He's still very little. So I'll bring a few of these in on trial, and we'll see what comes from that. But what I will do is scoot forward now. We have now completed the transfer window. Only issue being, I saved it, and the file that I saved it on, I then saved over that. So we're in another transfer window, and I'll show you where we are as soon as I've shown you the players in a little bit more depth. You can see the list there. You can see that we've spent in total this window 209 million. We're starting off with Danny Alves. He seems a bit of a staple in this game that signed him on a free transfer. And annoyingly so, someone has also signed him from us on a free transfer. So he's going to be joining Internacional at the end of the current season. He's only played twice for us at the moment, which I was surprised. I thought he would have been getting more when we simmed through, but apparently not. We then picked up Julian Alvarez from River Plate. So he's came in for 5 million. He's played 14 league games, scored 5, 2 assists, 2 player of the matches. Decent overall rating from him. Pretty hefty potential as well, which is good. And he's not short of being our current best striker. Next up was Samuel Chuckweezy. I think that's the pronunciation. He joined Villarreal from Diamond FC for just shy of $500,000, and now he's moved to us for 32 million. So they've made an absolute killing from him. Looking at his report, he's pretty good current potential, and he's got the potential to be a leading Premier League player. As we said, he's not far off attacking right mid, being one of the best players as it is anyway. And I needed someone who's going to play like that inverted role. So he's a left-footed right winger, which is it's tricky to come by. Next to join the party is John Mcginn. I just had to. We needed a centre mid, and he's one of my favourite. And he's worth only 35 million. So Villa have 10 times the value on him. He's played 17 games for us. You can see on the bottom down here. 20 in total, 2 goals, 3 assists, and 1 player of the match. So it's decent, but it's not fantastic. I think, to be honest, these ratings aren't fantastic. You can probably figure out we're not doing the best in the league. What I'm also going to do is change the formation before the end of the season, because it doesn't appear to be doing anything. So I'm going to put a little tweak on it and see what we can do from that. We needed a left back, so we signed Remy Benesabaini. I think that was right. He's pretty handy. He likes to play on that attacking role as well, and he's got the stats to match. The only thing he's missing is flair and concentration, which isn't ideal. I think usually you'd have one or the other, but apparently not. But no, he looks pretty handy. He's came to us for 11.5 million. Mönchengladbach signed him from Rennes for 7, and then they signed him for 1.4. So everyone's slowly making a little bit more money from him. So for selling man, hopefully we can continue that trend. He doesn't really have much more potential left, but he does have pretty hefty current ability. And you've probably noticed a few players at the bottom there that aren't normally at Newcastle. Firstly, we brought in Grimaldo, who is a more attacking left back. And it gives us a chance to be able to have 2 really good quality ones, because Jamal Lewis just isn't rated in this game, annoyingly. So I'm looking to try and see if we can loan him out, get a little bit of his wages off the books at least. We bought Grimaldo in for only 15.5 million, and Benfica signed him from Barcelona for only 1.1 million, which I'm sure they are pretty annoyed about, to be fair. He's doing pretty well for us. He's just shy of a 7. He's played 18 games, got a goal, assist, and a red card as well, but ignore that, don't worry. And to complete the fullbacks, we bought in Serginho Dest. He is a right back, primarily, but he can play left back as well. He came to us for 32.5 million. Barca signed him from Ajax for 19. And apparently, I've just noticed, he's currently worth 90 to 103 million, which is obscene. So I think what we're doing with these sort of players is just bringing players in that we can then sell for a higher ticket. And then hopefully, when our reputation has improved, we can then bring in better players. Because at the moment, we've got the money, but we haven't got the players. Whereas now I'm looking to bring in the players, ones that are young, that we can get a few years under their belt, improve them, sell them on, and then bring in the players of that higher calibre. That's my logic. Because I tried to sign Mbappe, and he wasn't feeling it. He wasn't. To complete the defence, we brought in Nicolas Schuler. He's a pretty handy centre-back. He can play right-back as well if needs be. He's 6'5", big old jumping reach, heading, tackling. We all know he's a very good player. He came into us for 19 million, so a very small profit for Hoffenheim. He's played 17 games in the league, 20 in total this year, and he's got a rating of 6.9, not 7.9. That would be monstrous. And to finish off our signings, we've brought in Pedro Goncalves. He's came in from Sporting. He's played 22 in total, 5 goals, 5 assists, and an average rating of 6.7. Pretty good. Again, not fantastic. We know why that is. It's because the team themselves aren't doing particularly well, which isn't ideal. We have, as we said earlier, spent 209 million. We got a little bit of money back in by selling Joel Linton for 8.5. Ryan Fraser's gone over to Villa for 15.25. We sold Isaac Hayden for 7.25. And then most recently, Matt Ritchie has gone in the January window for 2.3 million. I'm going to scoot now to the end of the January window, just to show you our completed business. Only a tiny bit more business done now we've completed the window. We have also sold Kieran Clark to Dynamo Moscow for 2 million. And I decided that the goalkeeper was one of our weaker points because Dubravka's getting a bit old. He's not as good as he is rating-wise against the rest of the team. So I thought I'd bring in a younger goalkeeper who can kind of challenge him and see if we can kind of shore up that defence. They've not been fantastic. I'll show you now very shortly. I kind of don't want to, but I feel like I have to. We've brought in Altay Bayunidir. It's not right. It's just not. He's 6'6". He looks pretty goddamn good. I'll give you a second to look over little stats if you want to. We picked him up from Fenerbahce for 18.5 million. Where he'd been playing for half the season. Let me move myself out of the way again. He'd played half the season, and he's played 22 games, only conceded 18, 8 clean sheets, and a rating of 7.1, which is pretty goddamn strong for a goalkeeper. So league-wise, it's not going great. We are currently 13th. We don't have anyone in the board, be it positive or negative. We are completely middling. Not ideal. We've had one draw this season against Burnley. We've picked up 14 losses. You can have a look through them at your own leisure. And 9 wins. 3-0 against Leicester and a 1-0 against Liverpool. And a 2-0 against Man U. All quite strong results. They're just not consistent enough. It's quite annoying. But it's good to see Villa knocking about up in 4th. So there is that. West Ham 5th and Leeds in 7th. That means that Man U and Tottenham have both been pushed out of European places completely. And Leicester are teetering on the edge of relegation. Let's see where they are at the end of the season. But before we do so, we'll have a little look at the tactic. I got to be honest, I just went with basically a plug and play Gegenpress 4-2-3-1 because I never use it, and technically I'm not using it, so I decided to do it. We've gone with Dubravka in goal. He's a support keeper on attack. Why the hell not? Wing backs, centre backs, usual business. I tweaked it slightly from the kind of basic one in regards to having a box-to-box and a deep line playmaker in the middle. We've kept Pedro as a support striker and Wilson as the attacking forward, and then 2 inverted forwards at either side. So we'll see what that formation can do for us and see if it can drag us up into the European positions. We are now at the end of the season. I can tell you, before we go into it, we have improved our position. We are no longer 13th. We're not in Europe. We're just not. We haven't done particularly well. We finished in 10th, so we were only 7 points from Europe. Brentford were 5 points ahead of us. Chelsea in 9th as well, which I've only just realised. You're seeing Leeds and Villa both sneak into Europe as well. And Leicester did stay down the bottom, but they are in 17th. So it's been a pretty mad season. You've even got Wolves and Everton in the bottom third. Tottenham are behind us in 11th. It's it's a bit strange. It's a bit strange. We finished with Wilson as our top scorer. Schuler's got the highest average rating. Goncalves with the top assist. Schuler again with the highest pass completion. And the most man of the match awards was Wilson. Grimaldo with the only red card that we mentioned earlier. And then there's a few players on quite a few yellows. Dani Alves, considering he was only here, or he could only play for half the season, because while I signed him at the start of the game, he couldn't actually play until December because he was on a sabbatical, I think they called it. And there's one player that we signed that I completely forgot about because he's technically not ours yet. In Gavi. He lines in with our young players that will do better, Jobby. He doesn't at the moment have a work permit. I have applied for it now the second time, so we'll see what comes from that. Hopefully he can get a permit by next year. If not, I may need to loan him back to Spain. So it may completely defeat the object of signing him, because whilst we've got him, we can't actually do anything about it. And we can't play him, so he's kind of just a commodity at the moment, rather than a footballer. If you have enjoyed today's episode, give me a like, subscribe, flick the bell, click one of the little items on screen as well. And thank you very much for your time.